One Punch Man episode 15, the third episode of the second season called The Hunt Begins, is... wow. This was my favorite episode of One Punch Man season 2 so far. Absolutely fantastic. This whole episode was great. I felt that the animation was very solid. Probably the best work we've seen from JC staff in the entire season so far, in my opinion. I thought it was, of course, season 1 is still top tier, but this was incredible. And the whole story, I was told that this part of One Punch Man is going to be mostly focused on other characters, not so much Saitama, and that it would be sort of their interactions with him, both good and bad guys. And this episode was all about Garou. And we get introduced to Master Bang, and of course he has a brother named Master Bomb, and we find out a lot about Garou and sort of his history, and we find out about, we see him in action, and it was just unbelievable. Everything about this episode was just totally fantastic. So we find out about Garou's backstory. It's involving a cover-up with the association and hiding what happened. And again, JC Anime did great here. And we find out that Garou is a hunter, and he's hunting out warriors. He's like an evil version of Goku. Not evil Goku, of course, but like somebody who loves to fight, but has much, much more sinister motives. So every time he fights an S-class fighter, Garou is very excited. And in the main part of this episode, he's confronted with somebody by the name of Tank Top Master, who is an S-class fighter. And the detail in this fight is absolutely astounding. I mean, it was smooth, it was crisp, it was just really, really enjoyable. If every episode looked like this, I would be very happy. I remember hearing that there might be a collapse in animation. I remember Yonko Productions said it's possible, but if it does happen, if the production does fall apart, it's definitely not something that is going to fall apart anytime soon, because this was great. And basically, Tank Top Master is a big tough guy. He goes for this move called the Tank Top Tackle, but Garou recovers, and everybody's all shocked that he was able to do that. And he uses this move called the Tank Top Punch. And then right here, they actually introduce, I forgot to mention, Bomb, which is Bang's brother. I did mention that, but not in detail. I love the names, of course, Bang and Bomb. Moomin Rider appears to try to stop Tank Top Master from going too far and possibly wiping out Garou because he takes it too far. And there's a scene where it looks like Garou's going to leave, like he's pretending to leave, and retreat, but no, he changes his mind quickly, and then he demolishes Tank Top Master. I mean, this was real punishment. This whole episode was crafted to kind of educate the audience as to how sadistic, how scary, and how powerful Garou is. But something happens at the end that I'm a little curious about, which I think is going to be a major storyline going forward. So, Tank Top Master then realizes that he is Garou, and he heard about, this monster human guy, and Moomin Rider gets smashed into the cement. I mean, this is violent. This is extremely violent. There's just blood everywhere, just splattering. There's a bunch of different dudes that confront him, and Garou just takes them all out single-handedly. Extremely gory, extremely violent, just awesome. Just really, really awesome stuff taken very seriously. People try to jump in, calling him a disgrace to the martial arts, but he doesn't care. He's just sadistic, a real bad apple. And then Bomb and Bang realize that there's a problem here when they see that the remnants of Garou's power and what he did. I mean, he just beats everybody to a pulp. And then they cut to these three random dudes who want to go out there and capture the hero hunter Garou, but of course, he actually shows up and takes them out. And the second half of the episode focuses on Saitama going to the hospital to visit the guys who got beaten up, and Saitama finds out about Garou. So this is kind of the beginning, first time Saitama even really knows who he is. They compare him to the Deep Sea King, and Tank Top Master fills in Saitama with a whole bunch of details about him, which is basically like him telling us, the audience, about him, because he's going to be the main antagonist of this season, to my knowledge. Tells him that Garou has techniques that are devised for breaking humans, and he is made to beat heroes. And as this is going on, Garou finds this kid in the park, and he's reading this book about King, who was mostly discussed in the first episode, the S-class hero. And of course, Garou wants to find him and hunt him down. So it looks like they're teasing Saitama training with Master Bang at some point. And there is, of course, more Garou combat later in the episode, making quick work of people. Still hunting people, but he's being let down because nobody's really giving him a challenge. And at the end of the episode, something interesting happens. So Saitama does indeed confront Garou. They confront each other without really, it's not really like a serious confrontation because Saitama heard of Garou but doesn't really know what he looks like. So they have this confrontation where he attacks Saitama with a chop, and Saitama just no-sells it like nothing, no pain, and then he chops him back and knocks him down and out. So I'm wondering if, it's weird that they would introduce this villain, put him over so much, and then all of a sudden just not do anything to follow it up. I thought that was kind of weird, but at the same time, this story's not over yet, so obviously Garou is going to probably want revenge at some point. And then the end of the episode, after the credits, talks about how Saitama's going to enter a tournament, so that's where we're going from here. But really, like I said, this episode is focused entirely on Garou. Great animation, great voice acting, just a no-nonsense, serious, smash-mouth episode. My favorite one they have done so far. Garou is invincible, except for Saitama, and just a crazy, crazy villain. Way more interesting, I think, than any of the villains we've seen in the past, in my opinion. Maybe not as funny, and there was some comedy in this episode, but not too much. But it was done to get the audience familiar with this insanely powerful character and dangerous character. Obviously Saitama took him out, but he's still really, really dangerous. So I loved it. I love this episode. Let me know what you thought about One Punch Man episode 15, season 2, episode 3. And I look forward to seeing this tournament, to seeing if they confront each other again. Overall, I am digging it. There were some complaints about the animation early on for this season, but overall, it was quality in this episode. The best looking episode of this season so far, and I hope to see more. Love, love, love this episode. I love this so much that I'm probably going to check out the manga version and see how that plays out at some point. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about One Punch Man episode 15, and I'll talk to you on the next one.